Hello and welcome to another pantomime review, where today we're in Nottingham at the Nottingham Theatre Royal for the high-flying pantomime adventure of Peter Pan. Okay, this show is a bit of a mixed bag. In fact, the whole show is a bit of a mix. Originally, we had the casting of Denise Welch of Captain Hook. However, she pulled out a week before due to illness, quickly replaced by Richard Windsor as Hook. However, you only have to walk around Nottingham city centre to see her face still on many of the posters. On top of all this, on the first few days of the production, Gok Wan was taken ill and replaced by the director of the show, who apparently had to read Gok's line off a clipboard. We'll leave that one there. This production hasn't had the smoothest start, let's just say that, but it seems like now Crossroads have overcome those battles and it's in its run. Luckily, I saw the production with its full casting of Gok Wan as Magical Merman, Paul Chuckle as Starkey, Steve Hewlett as Smee, and Richard Windsor as Captain Hook. Of course, at the front of the billing is Gok Wan. He's the biggest name on the poster and with the biggest costume, of course. Surprisingly, we don't actually get to see much of Gok in Act 1, and he only appears about 25 minutes into the show. This comes after the entrances of Steve, Paul and Richard. Gok enters the production dancing to I Am Fabulous Merman. Notice there, I didn't say singing. Due to Gok's illness on my visit, he wasn't singing but miming to the track. I understand that this is due to illness and can't be helped, but Crossroads have done the best they can, and I don't think the audience noticed, which is the main thing. Surprisingly, in this production, I thought that Gok Wan was underused, which really shocked me. He's the front of the poster, therefore you'd expect him to be used most. He had a few interactions with Richard Windsor as Hook, but nowhere near as much as you'd expect. Maybe this script was different to the one with Denise Welch, where Gok would feature more with Denise, but due to her pulling out, potentially the script was quickly put together. Well, it feels like that. Richard Windsor as Hook plays the part with ease, singing, dancing and some comedy shtick here and there with Gok, Smee and Starkey. This guy has vocal talent, it's just a shame he's been put into a production where the script feels slightly rushed. There are two saving graces though, that is Paul Chuckle and Steve Hewlett. I've seen Paul Chuckle in Panto before, he's done over 50 of them, quite simply a Panto pro, and his routines are flourished and get the most laughs. Walking out to the Chuckle Vision theme song, every appearance with "Hello," his warmth is seen by the audience as soon as he walks out. We get to see a shopping trolley routine, magic box routine, and at the end of the show, the Goldilocks routine, which was an interesting audience participation routine. Steve Hewlett as Smee features a lot in this show, but a lot of the time features a lot without his main puppet, Arthur Lager. I would have loved to see him more with Arthur Lager together. We only get a few routines of them two together. We also get to see another one of Steve's puppets, Chi Chi, which the audience loved. Steve held the show together, but I feel the script gave him too much to do and didn't focus on his awesome talent and the fact that he is a pro ventriloquist. Paul and Steve do this routine where Paul says he'll help Steve develop his singing, but at the same time Paul also says that he'd help the dancers make a dress. So when Paul says things like, "Can you take that a bit higher?" he's really talking about the dress and not Steve singing. The routine goes on with things like, "Can you take that top bit off?" and it gets some of the biggest laughs in the show. Steve also does Matt Slack's routine of combining lots of songs together to talk about his love life. I feel this routine wasn't really needed in this show and instead could have been swapped for more of Steve's ventriloquism with Arthur. The story of this show is mixed-matched even for Crossroads standards. In the first half, Captain Hook gets eaten and then reappears in the second half because he tickled the Croc's throats and got spat back out again. I mean, it's Panto, so I'll let them off, but Act 2 was basically the end of the story as Captain Hook plans a party. Him and Peter have a sword fight and that's it in terms of story. Hook's party is basically a way of getting the rest of the comedy routines in, and I think that's the thing with this production, there's no flow, there's no doubting it's funny, but there's no flow between the comedy and story, which is so essential to a family pantomime, which Nottingham is. The saviours of this production was Steve and Paul, providing comedy for the audience, because if there wasn't comedy in this show, there certainly wouldn't be story. The set is stock from Kudos or Crossroads, scenes full of glitter and a nice bit of visual projection at the start, although you can tell it's a bit of an older set. Last year we had the effects of the giant rat and the flying bus. This year we only get a small croc that eats Captain Hook. It certainly looks good, but not on the levels of previous years. This production is funny, there's no doubt in that. When you have Paul Chuckle in a panto, you're going to get laughs. But what there isn't in this production is a smooth flowing pantomime, at times feeling more of a variety show with different acts. Aidan Carson as Peter Pan is sufficient and provides vocals with a sword fight in Act 2. Not really used much though, in fact even less than you'd expect from a lead with Crossroads. Molly Farmer as Wendy has a nice voice alongside Peter, and Kate Stewart as Tink definitely shines amongst the other leads. I feel we get to know her character more than we did with Peter, and the couple of scenes with her and Wendy were excellent. Overall, this production is strong in comedy, however lacks the story of Peter Pan. If you're looking for that story, you're probably not going to enjoy this show. If you're looking for more of a variety comedy night, you'll probably enjoy this. Overall, Nottingham's 2024 pantomime gets a 2.5-star review. You can book tickets online at trch.co.uk, running right through until the 12th of January.